The bell above the door jingled softly as Emma entered the book nook. The smell of aged paper and fresh ink, an intoxicating symphony she never tired of. Her heart skipped a beat as she stepped inside, a cozy sanctuary where stories came to life amidst dusty shelves. This was her haven, tucked away from the bustle of the city. With a cup of steaming café au lait in hand, she roamed the labyrinth of books, each spine a whisper of adventure. It was on this seemingly ordinary afternoon that she found the journal. Nestled between volumes of forgotten classics, it was bound in worn leather, an intricate sketch of a wisteria flower emblazoned upon it. The sight called to her like a siren's song. Emma's fingers traced the delicate lines. Setting down her drink, she opened the journal to reveal pages tinged with time, inked with a handwriting as graceful as a ballet. The words within captivated her, a narrative both haunting and beautiful. The protagonist, a woman as enchanted by wisterias as Emma herself, lived decades ago in a Paris that seemed both foreign and familiar. Intrigued, she continued to read, losing herself in the lyrical prose. "Mind if I join you?" A voice broke her reverie. Emma glanced up to find a man standing before her. He was tall, with an air of mystery, a painter's smudge of charcoal gracing his cheek. "Gabriel," he introduced himself, nodding toward the journal. "That looks intriguing." Emma smiled, holding the journal close. "It's like stepping into another world," she replied. Gabriel took a seat across from her, his presence as comforting as the thick-knit scarf draped around his neck. "Books have a way of doing that," he mused, eyes sparkling, "especially in Paris." They talked for hours, their conversation weaving through art and literature with the ease of old friends. Each word exchanged felt like a piece of a puzzle falling perfectly into place. The journal, though closed, sat between them like a bridge yet to be crossed. As dusk painted the city in shades of lavender, Emma realized she'd made a kindred spirit in Gabriel, a partner in her newfound quest. "Perhaps," he suggested, "we can discover what stories those pages hold together." Emma nodded, her heart thrumming with a blend of excitement and nervous anticipation. "I'd like that," she whispered. She agreed, a hint of a future shared myth in her voice. And so their journey began, set against the backdrop of a Paris adorned in twinkling lights, carried through the pages of a love story penned long ago. The crisp air of the morning settled over Paris like a gentle promise. Emma hurried through the narrow cobblestone streets, her steps eager as the anticipation of a new revelation through the journal loomed large. She clutched the old leather-bound book close to her chest, her mind already spinning tales of what she might uncover next. Arriving at the bustling Place du Tertre, she found Gabriel seated at a wooden cafe table, his easel set up beside him as he painted the vibrant scene of artists capturing the heartbeat of Paris on their canvas. His hands moved deftly, brushing colors into existence in a dance of creativity that left Emma breathless. "Emma," Gabriel greeted, setting down his palette with a smile that warmed her like the morning sun. "Have you uncovered more secrets?" Emma laughed softly, taking a seat opposite him. She opened the journal, showing him sketches alongside the prose, drawings that danced in step with the words, as alive as the ceaseless hum of the city around them. "Look here," she said, pointing to a beautifully rendered wisteria vine intertwined with a Monet-like garden scene. "I think this depicts a specific location, a garden perhaps, somewhere meaningful." Gabriel examined the sketches with the critical eye of an artist. "Giverny, maybe," he mused. "Monet's old haunt, just outside Paris. It's a place where time itself seems to stop." Their gazes locked, a silent understanding passing between them, an unspoken agreement to embark on this chapter of discovery together. "Then it's a day trip," Emma declared with enthusiasm, imagining the garden's lush vistas through the lens of the journal. Their journey to Giverny became a tapestry of laughter and shared dreams. As they wandered the trails of the famed gardens, they admired the overwhelming beauty, the way the sunlight kissed the rippling water lilies, and how the air filled with the sweet scent of wisteria and reverie. In that serene haven, they found a secluded bench beneath the watchful gaze of the famous Pink House. Emma opened the journal, reading aloud passages where the past bled into the present, words filled with longing and an awakening of love from decades gone by. "It's as if she were here with us," Gabriel whispered, hushed by the majesty of their surroundings. Emma nodded, feeling the spirit of the journal's author as a whisper in the tapestry of petals around them. "She wanted to be found," Emma murmured, closing her eyes briefly, as if to etch this moment into her soul. They lingered there till the sun dipped low, painting the sky in hues that matched Gabriel's canvases back at the cafe. The bond between them unfurled through these shared experiences, weaving their lives with tendrils of a destiny scripted not just in the pages of a journal, but in their hearts. Driving back under a dome of stars, Emma knew they were bound by more than just intrigue and wanderlust. The journal had not merely connected them to history, it had kindled a connection between them too profound to ignore. Their shared love story, like the pages before them, had only just begun. The soft glow of the Parisian street lamps cast long shadows as Emma and Gabriel strolled leisurely along the Seine. The journal nestled safely in Emma's bag, a treasure drawing them ever closer. Their day in Giverny had been transformative, awakening a layer of their romance that was now undeniable. Wrapped in scarves and laughter, Paris had never felt so alive, the city of light slowly kindling the light of their feelings. "You know," Gabriel began, his voice thoughtful, "her story, our journey through it, it's like the city itself is winking at us, drawing us deeper into its mysteries." Emma smiled, her fingers brushing against his in an unspoken promise. "It's as if she's guiding us," she mused, her gaze drifting to the calm movements of the river beside them, unraveling her story in a way that's connecting us to her spirit. As they walked, they passed the magnificent spires of Notre Dame. It stood proud against the night, its silhouette a testament to love stories untold. It was Gabriel's suggestion to stop by, his artist's eye constantly seeking inspiration in the grandness around them. Inside, the cathedral was a sanctuary of quietude, a respite from the world's noise. Emma could feel the journal in her bag vibrating with the anticipation of discovery. Taking a seat on a bench under the stained glass, she opened it once more, guided this time by a paper tucked between the pages, a forgotten map of sorts, floral patterns edged with a familiar touch. "Look," she whispered, pointing at the parchment. "Another clue, perhaps something leading us further. Gabriel leaned in, his shoulder brushing against hers as they examined the intricate details together. "It looks like a garden," he remarked, "but I doubt it's just any garden. This feels like her sacred space, whoever she was. She poured her heart into these pages and crafted them to lead us somewhere significant." Emma nodded, excitement bubbling within her. What if we continue following her path? Each stop, a piece of her heart left behind. As they left the cathedral, the path before them seemed clearer than ever. Their next destination, a remote chateau etched into the map, a place that promised more than just answers. It whispered of a revelation that might seal not only the journal's final chapter, but perhaps their own burgeoning story as well. They spent the following days piecing together the map's riddles, embracing highs and lows as their journey carried them from cafes to art galleries, each spot a stepping stone drawing them closer still. During quiet moments, when the world around them stilled, Emma would find herself lost in the maze of feelings that Gabriel evoked within her. His presence was a balm, a thrilling juxtaposition of comfort and enigma that dared her heart to imagine a future sketched in bold strokes. As the weekend arrived, Emma knew they were on the cusp of something pivotal, a discovery that would hinge on their readiness to accept what the journal offered. Ready or not, their entwined path was leading them forwards, and they would chase the whispers of the past as far as they reached into their present. On a crisp morning filled with promise, Emma and Gabriel boarded a train bound for the countryside, the city of Paris gradually giving way to rolling fields and quaint villages that seemed to leap straight out of a storybook. They settled into their cabin, the gentle sway of the train a soothing rhythm that mirrored their heartbeats, in sync, despite the unknown stretches of their journey. Emma glanced out the window, watching the world rush by in a blur of colors. Gabriel sat opposite her, his sketch pad in hand as he captured the fleeting beauty of the landscapes with deft strokes. His quiet focus was enchanting, a testament to his artistic soul that observed the world through a lens enriched by imagination. "We're on an adventure," Emma said quietly, her voice filled with a mix of trepidation and excitement. "One I never could have dreamed of." Gabriel looked up, his smile brightening the carriage as the sun might a cloudy day. "It's more than an adventure," he replied. "It's a journey to the heart, I think, something deeper than just places on a map." Their destination was a chateau nestled amidst lavender fields, a place marked on the fragile map they had discovered between the journal's pages. It was an artist's sanctuary, hidden away from time, filled with promises, if only they were daring enough to seek them out. Upon arrival, the grandeur of the centuries-old estate took their breath away. Delicate wisteria vines clinging to its ancient walls like secrets whispered across generations. Emma and Gabriel were greeted by the scent of blooming flowers, their fragrances mingling in the air to create a tapestry of olfactory memories. As they explored the grounds, the journal in Emma's hand seemed to pulse with a life of its own. She noted how the floral arrangements precisely mirrored those sketched within the pages, an auspicious sign that they were indeed on the right path. They wandered through rooms filled with art and antiquities, whispers of lives that had been lived in grandeur and solitude. Each room was a canvas, painted with echoes of the past that seemed to lead them in an unseen dance toward discovery. In a sun-dappled library, They found a portrait of a woman whose essence seemed to leap from the canvas. Her eyes were both haunting and beautiful. And around her neck hung a pendant shaped like, Emma gasped gently, a wisteria. "That's her, isn't it?" Gabriel asked, awestruck. "The woman from the journal." Emma nodded, her heart caught in a symphony of wonder and recognition. "She left us more than just stories," she murmured. "It's her heart, offering peace with her whispers and inviting us to finish her tale." They settled into the library, Emma opening the journal with hands that no longer trembled but instead tingled with anticipation. As they turned the pages together, piecing stories with places, they realized hers was a love story never fully told, a story that somehow asked them to complete it. Spurred by the unspoken bravery of a woman who had dared to love in her own way, Emma and Gabriel knew they were closer than ever to unveiling the truth, the final strokes to a canvas painted with hope, longing, and the timeless dance of love that transcends all boundaries. The afternoon sun poured through the floor-to-ceiling windows of the chateau library, casting pools of golden light onto the polished wooden floors. Emma and Gabriel sat amidst the sunbeams, the journal open before them, its pages fluttering in a gentle breeze as if beckoning them forward. Their minds buzzed with possibility, the portrait of the woman hanging overhead, a constant reminder of the layers they were slowly peeling back. The air was thick with the anticipation of discovery, every corner of the grand estate holding secrets they were ready to uncover. "So," Emma said, a newfound determination in her voice, "we know she was an artist, maybe like you, Gabriel. Someone who saw beauty in the world and sought to capture it." Gabriel nodded, lost in thought. "And perhaps," he mused softly, "she fell in love with another soul who was just as captivated by the colors of life as she was." Their eyes met, an understanding blooming in the depths of their connection. It was a moment thick with emotion, a realization that their own narrative was becoming entwined with each passage they read, each place they explored. They continued to leaf through the journal, uncovering not just words, but sketches that seemed to leap from the page with vivid intensity. One particular drawing caught Emma's eye, a pair of hands entwined, surrounding a singular wisteria flower that seemed to form the beating heart. It was a declaration of love that transcended language. "This flower," Emma whispered, tracing the lines tenderly. It was important to her, more than just a symbol. Maybe it represented hope or a promise made. As they pondered, footsteps sounded lightly outside the library. Both Emma and Gabriel turned abruptly, caught by surprise. An older woman with an air of elegance entered, her eyes alight with curiosity. "I see you found my ancestors' stories," she said, her voice hushed yet resonant, full of unspoken history. Emma rose to meet her, instinctively reaching for Gabriel's hand. "Your ancestor?" The woman nodded, approaching as if greeting long-lost friends. Her gaze fell upon the journal with a mix of nostalgia and respect. "Indeed, she was a remarkable woman, my great-grandmother. A passion for art, yes, but her heart was forever bound to a love story that was never meant to be." Gabriel leaned forward, intrigued. "Do you know the end of her story?" The woman smiled softly, as though indulging a cherished memory. "Parts of it, Yes, but some tales are safer kept within the heart and the whispers of wisteria blossoms. Her path was not unlike yours, filled with a quest, driven by an unyielding belief in what love should be. She gestured around the room, indicating the paintings, the sketches, the collective legacy left behind. Here is where her spirit lives on, protected, celebrated. Emma and Gabriel thanked her, their gratitude reflected in their eyes. As the woman bid them farewell, slipping back into the chateau's corridors, they sat back down, feeling the weight and wonder of what lay before them. With each new piece of the past aligning seamlessly with their own present, Emma felt a swell of courage within her heart. She looked at Gabriel, seeing a future as yet unwritten, but vibrant with promise. "We need to find the ending she never wrote," Emma said resolutely. "Our own and hers." And with renewed purpose, they turned the page, eager to unravel the next chapter of their story, one that danced in rhythm with the timeless verse of love hidden in the tapestry of wisteria. Chateau's expansive gardens spread out like a tapestry woven with nature's finest threads. Dappled sunlight filtered through canopies of leaves, the delicate scent of mingling florals, and the soft hum of bees, rendering the world a seamless blend of tranquility and anticipation. Guided by the whispers of history, Emma and Gabriel walked hand in hand, following paths laid out long before their time. Their visit from the chateau's matriarch had left them buzzing with inspiration, eager to uncover more about the compelling woman whom history had almost forgotten. The journal was their compass, leading them on hidden trails where magic seemed to dwell silently, waiting to be claimed. "I feel we're so close to something," Emma remarked as they paused beneath an archway intertwined with wisterias. "Each piece of her story brings us closer together and deepens our connection to this place." Gabriel nodded thoughtfully, eyes scanning the surroundings as if they held the answers they sought. "I wonder," he said, "if she knew her letters, her sketches would one day bridge time to bring us here." It was near the far end, a secluded alcove shielded by climbing roses and ancient statues, that they found the small, half-buried box. Fingers tingling with anticipation, Emma crouched to retrieve it. Her heart pounded as she handed it to Gabriel. Together they opened the lid to reveal a small collection of letters, delicately penned, yet the words were bold, daring even to exist. "They're her letters," Emma whispered, breathless, as she handled the precious notes with care. "They're like windows into her soul, connecting the dots of past and present." Gabriel read aloud, voice resonant amid the rustle of leaves. "Dearest one, the wisterias here bloom as bright as my heart's fervor for you." Emma felt the emotions of the letters wash over them, love unyielding against the currents of separation and time. They spoke of hope deferred yet undiminished, dreams cast into the future, they themselves now walked within. Somewhere amidst the verdant corridors of the garden, Gabriel reached for Emma's hand, interlacing their fingers in a silent vow that mirrored the timeless promises she had witnessed on those pages. "We're living her story," Gabriel murmured as they paused to absorb the fullness of the moment. "And ours, too." The gravity of his words settled in, beautiful and heavy, yet liberating, like the realization of love destined from the start. Emma felt a courage bloom within her that wasn't there before. Buoyed by the past, breathing life into her present. The setting sun infused the garden with a warm golden hue, an unspoken blessing, cementing their mission. Together, they closed the letters box, an artifact not just of history, but of what they had found in each other. An enduring love, ready to be cherished beyond time's grasp. Hand in hand, they emerged from the alcove, the garden around them a witness to their perilous and beautiful dance. As night descended softly on the chateau, Emma knew unequivocally that the final chapters of both their stories were not far off, echoes waiting yet to harmonize the past with their present song. The allure of Paris at dusk is a melody few can resist. As Emma and Gabriel returned from the chateau, the city welcomed them back with its vibrant pulse, energizing their spirits even as daylight gave way to the twinkling romance of twilight. Back at the book nook, the enchantment of discovery still lingered between them. They settled into their favorite nook, the journal once again a revered companion, surrounded by books, whispering secrets of their own. Each letter, each passage feels like an echo, Gabriel said, tracing the lines of the aged pages with reverence. It's as if she's guiding us to write the conclusion she never did. Emma nodded, her gaze lingering on his fingers as they danced delicately over their findings. How do we honor her story and our own? She pondered aloud, voicing the question that had been softly growing in the corners of her mind. Their discussion drifted from the past to the present, weaving their own hopes and dreams within the tapestry of the journal's narrative. The pair shared smiles and glances as luminous as the streetlights lining the Parisian boulevards. Inspired by the letters, Gabriel proposed an idea, a collaborative art exhibit reflecting the journey they had undertaken, an entwining of past and present, merging Emma's love for stories and his passion for art. The concept ignited delight in Emma's eyes, her heart leaping at the prospect of an enduring tribute. A celebration, she agreed, of love that spans time, seen through words and paintings, a narrative that doesn't end, but evolves with each telling. In the days that followed, their apartment became a hive of creativity. Emma worked on curating the letters, imbuing them with a narrative arc that paralleled their journey. Gabriel transformed canvases into portals of imagination, each stroke a reminder of what they'd uncovered together. Their evenings were a patchwork of laughter and stolen kisses, hours passing like welcomed visitors in the mindful whirl of brushes and books. With his studio filled with inspiring canvases and sketches, Gabriel would capture their shared glances, sunsets turned fanciful shades by the glow of the stories they held dear. One evening, Gabriel paused, brush in mid-air, as he watched Emma painstakingly restore a letter. "Do you think about what happens after all this?" he asked gently, his gaze warm and deep enough to fall into. Emma placed the fragile paper down, turning to meet his question with her own certainty. "We're not just writing her ending," she said softly, "but our beginning." Her words were the door to their future, a shared vision illuminated by the steps they'd taken to honor the past and embrace what lay ahead. Finally, the day arrived. The exhibit opening to the gentle hush of whispered admiration and approval. The gallery was alive with the harmony of art and words, friends and strangers, each experiencing the blend of history and their own present. As Gabriel and Emma stood amidst the hubbub, their fingers interlocked like unbroken chains, they marveled at how the echoes of one woman's story had not only intertwined with their lives, but inspired them to weave a new saga of love, a tale of discovery, unfurling eternally, page by page, through the timelessness of art. City of Paris woke softly, a whisper of dawn igniting the horizon, as Emma and Gabriel made their way through the streets to the gallery. It felt surreal to walk these cobbled paths, bathed in fresh light, knowing their art exhibit had become a beacon of curiosity and emotion, a lighthouse summoning dreams and stories from every corner. When they pushed open the gallery doors, they were greeted by the lingering buzz of contentment, an air of celebration remaining even after guests had departed the previous night. The space was transformed. Canvases echoed whispers of love's past, and carefully preserved letters lay under glass, secrets and promise entwined carefully within each inked line. Gabriel's canvases, vibrant and bold, brought to life the emotions they had discovered, tucked between pages, infusing the present with relics of renewal. Emma had painstakingly curated the letters into a narrative that wove seamlessly between the visual art, enhancing each piece with the passage of time and depth of sentiment. Together, they walked from piece to piece, savoring the quiet acknowledgement from those whose footsteps would soon fill this room once more. Each artwork, each word, had become a conversation started in silence, now echoed out loud for all to hear. "I think," said Gabriel with a contemplative smile, "that we've found the right perpetuity for her story, her truths expressed through birdsong and brushstrokes." Emma nodded, reaching out to trace one of his paintings, her finger hovering lightly above the strokes that spoke volumes. "It's beautiful," she said, eyes shimmering with emotion. "It's more than I even dared to imagine." Her voice was filled with wonder at what they'd created together, a tribute that transcended centuries. As the doors opened and visitors started to arrive, they found themselves enveloped in an emboldening sea of shared experiences. The quiet gasp at seeing an emotion encapsulated in paint, the warmth of nostalgia as words were read aloud, drawing others into the intimate folds of shared history. Among the crowd, Emma spotted the elegant silhouette of the chateau's matriarch, her stern yet gentle presence a grounding point in the tapestry they had woven. Emma excused herself to greet her properly, feeling both excitement and nervous flutter as she approached. "Your great-grandmother's story," Emma said, gesturing around them, "is breathing new life. She wasn't forgotten." The woman nodded, appreciation and something akin to pride twinkling in her eyes. "The way you've honored her," she replied softly. "I think her heart would be full, knowing she's found a place in yours." Gabriel joined them then, his arm slipping naturally around Emma's waist, providing assurance as he greeted their honored guest. "It feels timeless, doesn't it?" he added. "How art and words remain vibrant, prolonging connections long after we've moved on." The woman agreed, her gaze drifting over the collection. By capturing the spirit of the journal, Emma and Gabriel had become part of an ongoing narrative, a love story unfurling in real time, weaving itself in and out through brushes and scripts bound by timelessness. As the day waned and the soft glow of twilight tipped over the skyline, the gallery remained lively, charged by stories both old and new. Emma and Gabriel knew they had taken their steps in union, a journey forever marked by pages and passages that had come alive through a love that transcended all barriers. The city illuminated with stars. And just like the grand story inspired by the woman in the journal, theirs was one that promised to twinkle long after the dusk had settled. As the reverberations of the gallery exhibit settled into the fabric of Paris's bustling art scene, Emma and Gabriel found themselves basking in the afterglow of their labor of love. Though the spotlight had dimmed, its warmth lingered, fueling a sense of accomplishment as they retraced their steps through streets familiar yet eternally fresh. One crisp morning, Emma felt drawn back to the chateau. The solitude it offered was a necessary balm, allowing her to process the whirlwind of events and emotions birthed from inked pages. Gabriel joined her, their connection unbroken by silence, understanding woven into every shared glance and gentle touch. They walked the path through the gardens again, their footsteps soft among the whispering leaves, past the placid pools that reflected the sky's brilliant blue. It felt like a pilgrimage. The path worn by history's echo embraced them with each step. In the garden alcove where they had first discovered the letters, they paused. Gabriel pulled a small package from his coat, surprising Emma. With a shy grin, he presented a new sketchbook, lovingly wrapped. "For your stories," he said, "our stories." Emma accepted it with a radiant smile, heart swelling with the promise of new chapters yet to be penned. Turning the pages, she was again reminded of the power contained within each moment of their journey, a narrative continually unfolding with the sunrise of each day. They spent the afternoon sketching and writing beneath the canopy of wisteria that lightly danced in a breeze. Emma's pen moved effortlessly, the ink flowing like a river, charting their lives together, setting the beginning of new stories to be read in future echoes. Meanwhile, Gabriel captured the scene in rich colors against the canvas of his notepad. Emma at peace, the garden framing her with nature's elegance, punctuated by tea roses and azure skies. Their conversations merged seamlessly, ideas exchanged and laughter erupting like unsteady brushstrokes, aligned perfectly imperfect. As the light began to shift, the specters of sunset painting the world in hues reminiscent of twilight kisses, Gabriel paused, setting his work aside. His gaze met Emma's, an intensity of purpose shining through the depths. "Emma," he began, his voice deep and sincere, "this week, this adventure, it has been more than I ever dreamed. More than art, more than history. It's been you. You are what breathes life into everything." Emma felt her heart throb warmly, the words resonating with an undeniable truth. "And you, Gabriel," she replied, her voice a melody of sincerity. "You've painted our lives in pictures I never imagined. Colors my heart never knew." Their confessions hovered lightly between them, eventually merging into a unified warmth that neither the cooling air nor the pending nightfall could dim. Emma and Gabriel stood together, content in the shared silence, their combined presence promising an untold continuation. The story they began to write felt limitless, its conclusion not a denouement, but a wide horizon of possibilities. Together, they left the alcove, a whisper of wisterias guiding their steps, lifelines woven between them as they prepared to return to Paris. And as night embraced the chateau, Emma and Gabriel knew what they had discovered, captured and shared, transcended, flowing through the pages of both time and love's enduring tapestry, charting a course toward a destiny sculpted through sentiments shared, promising and eternal. The luminous city of Paris sprawled beneath the brilliant morning sun, vibrant and alive, as Emma and Gabriel prepared for the next steps of their journey. A new chapter, beyond the gallery's triumph and the whispered echoes of a love story rooted in wisteria vines. Their exploration had culminated in connections cemented by art and heart. Yet, just as infinity loops back upon itself, their journey was far from ending. In their cozy apartment, the air heavy with the scent of freshly brewed coffee and the promise of new adventures, Emma and Gabriel reflected on their shared path. Their exhibit had illuminated more than long-hidden love letters. It had stitched together the fragments of their lives, defining a narrative steeped in history and discovery. While sketchbooks and journals lay open on the table, untamed creativity mapped future plans and dreams beyond even the fabled city's horizon. Paris had taught them to listen closely to the whispers of old pages, to find echoes in the spaces between words. "You know," Emma mused, staring thoughtfully out the window where daylight cast playful shadows across cobblestones. "I never imagined myself here, finding love while searching for another story. It's beautiful and somewhat poetic how everything is connected." Gabriel, immersed in a canvas portraying the view outside, paused to meet her gaze. "Perhaps it's not the stories that are bound to places, but the places that bind us to our stories. This city, it becomes a part of you, doesn't it?" She nodded, their shared silence alive with understanding. Each touch, each shared smile, and indeed the entire breadth of their experience, had become threads in the tapestry of their shared life, echoing the woman from the journal who witnessed their story unfold. "We should take this further," Gabriel proposed, suddenly inspired. "Continue exploring. Keep our hearts open to what these pages and places might offer." Emma's excitement was infectious, her smile broadening as she sketched paths of possibility before them. Together, they spoke of plans larger than any canvas or page, their words growing wings, aspirations intertwined with excitement and courage. That evening, as they walked along the Seine, the river coursing with the elegance of a symphony, they talked of traveling further, of discovering stories whispered through ancient landscapes, journeys to inspire new artworks and narratives that transcended borders. Paris would always be their starting point, a sanctuary and a catalyst for everything. It held within its heartbrook narratives, naughty and untamed, waiting for the right souls to uncover them. They took a moment, pausing beneath the glow of a street lamp, where its halo lit their presence like an old-world portrait. "To us and our tales," Gabriel declared, raising an imaginary glass in a gesture of toast. Emma laughed, softly tickling the darkness around them. "And to the love stories still unwritten," she added, feeling a swelling joy dance within her chest. Their lives, although deeply entrenched in the pages of history, were simultaneously a fresh slate, prose and pictures unfurling endlessly before them. They had found not only a love within the journal's pages, but a love that sustained itself in every lived moment, weaving seamlessly between the past and where they stood now. As Paris twinkled in the distance, its lights casting reflections on the rippling waters of the Seine, Emma and Gabriel continued onward. Together, they stepped into the embrace of tomorrow, knowing that their story, like a beloved book, would continue to unfold. A narrative stitched into the very fabric of time's vast, unwritten ledger, beautifully, eternally, and through the pages of love.